To Uganda, where provisional results show President Yoweri Museveni leading over his main rival in the country's presidential elections. Partial results announced on Friday by the Electoral Commission give Museveni nearly 63% of the vote, far ahead of his nearest rival Kizza Besigye. Police arrested Besigye at his party's headquarters on Friday. Susan Mungeli reports.
The provisional results released on Friday accounted for 47% of all polling stations across the country. They showed Museveni leading by 63% with his main challenger Kizza Besigye at 32%.
Kizza Besigye 1,507,495. That is at 2.66%. Yoweri Museveni 2,900,109. That is 62.82%. Valid votes cast 4,606,403. Invalid votes 243,695. That is 5.01% of the votes cast. Total votes 4,860,098. That is 31.81% of the registered voters. Spoiled votes 13,735.
While Museveni maintained his lead in the presidential tally, at least 17 of his ministers lost their parliamentary seats. Among them, Defense Minister Kizza Besigye and Attorney General Fred Ruhindi. Meanwhile, police on Friday raided Besigye's Forum for Democratic Change Party headquarters and arrested him. Police fired tear gas canisters at a crowd outside. After Besigye's arrest, his supporters took to the streets. Riot police lobbed tear gas and stun grenades at them. Security remains tight in the country, with final results expected on Saturday. Susan Mungeli, CCTV.
Now, for more developments, we're joined by CCTV's Jane Kyo. She's live for us in Kampala. Jane, the final results in the Ugandan polls were expected today. What's the latest? And also, what can you tell us about the high number of government ministers losing their legislative seats?
Well, Penina, indeed, like you've said, there 17 ministers have so far lost in their seats in this election this far. And they include, like you said, the Attorney General, the Defense Minister, Kizza Besigye, and the State Minister in the office of the Vice President. And of course, it could be interpreted to mean many things. One of those is that the electorate appears to have lost its confidence in the composition of President Yoweri Museveni's government. On the other hand, the NRM says that it's just a sign of democracy, that people have the will to choose who it is they want to be their leader, not because they are affiliated to one party or the other. But of course, like you said, the countdown is on. We are expecting those final results in about 3 hours' time. But the latest results, according to the latest results that we have from the Electoral Commission, there's still no surprises in the leading two candidates. President Museveni now at 61.55% against Kizza Besigye of the FDC 34.47%. Now, these are results from 23,000 polling stations. We've got about 5,000 more because the polling stations were about 28,010 before those final results can be announced at 4 p.m. local time. But Penina, observers have also been giving their verdict in regards to this exercise on Thursday. Now, we've heard from different groups, the IGAD, COMESA, and the East African community, and they say collectively, they say that they expressed their disappointment with the delays. Remember, the delays were up to 7 hours. Polling was extended to a second day yesterday. But they, however, say these three groups, the EAC, IGAD, and COMESA, said that the election met the minimum requirement of being free and fair. Remember, that was the same verdict given yesterday by the observers from the Great Lakes. But we are hearing something totally different from the EU Observer Mission. We came from a press conference a short while ago from the team, and of course they talked about the independence of the Electoral Commission. They talked about intimidation of the opposition groups and the lack of a level playing field in the run-up to the election. This is their statement, Penin, and I'm just going to tell you just from the highlights, the topic of their press statement, they call it that voters' enthusiasm for democratic process eclipsed by atmosphere of intimidation and the ruling party control of state resources in Uganda's third multi-party elections. And I'm just going to touch on what they say about the Electoral Commission. They say that it lacked independence, transparency, and the trust of stakeholders, that the EC lacked transparency in its decisions and failed to inform voters and contestants on the key elements of the electoral process in a timely and comprehensive manner. Now, in this statement as well, they raised the issue of the voters list, which was quite a controversial issue in the run-up to the general election. Penina?
All right, Jane, let's leave it there for now. Jane Keo, live for us in Kampala. Thank you.